Honey, baby. Oh, honey bitches. Oh my God. I'm sorry. Some of you love it. Some of you fucking hate it when I do it. Are you sick of it yet? Don't care. Guys, you know the drill. Honey is our presenting sponsor and it's free. There you go. Good morning. Good night. You're welcome. Honey is Call Her Daddy's presenting sponsor, guys. You know the drill. It is an online browser that you download onto your computer. You can use it on over 30,000 different stores. So you're online shopping, you're buying food, you're buying accessories, or you're buying a dildo, whatever you're fucking into. When you go to checkout, all of a sudden, Honey will automatically drop down and say, do you want to apply these 3 coupons to your checkout cart? And then you're literally going to save $30, $40, $50. I have saved so much fucking money with Honey, and it's literally free. So if you don't download it, you're literally passing up free money. This is my favorite fucking sponsor. These are my favorite fucking people, and I fucking love Honey. Try it out. It takes literally like 10 seconds to download onto your computer, and then for the rest of your fucking life, you're just going to be saving money. Even when you forget about it, Honey doesn't forget about you, bitches. You are going to go to joinhoney.com/daddy. That is joinhoney.com/daddy.
Do you call him daddy? Do I call her daddy? Call her
daddy. What the fuck is up, daddy gang? It is your founding father back at it again for another episode of Call Her Daddy. Daddy gang, everyone around the world, I don't know where you are, Australia, the UK, the United States, wherever you are, this information is going to blow your fucking mind, okay? One of the men that I am dating, are you ready for this? Has a private Instagram. You're all like, okay, and? No, that's it. That's literally it. That's literally the big, shocking kabooyah. He has a fucking private Instagram account. Now, when I say that, some of you may say, Al, Big Al, what's the stress? Lots of us here listening to you chitter chatter have a private Instagram account. No. Let me tell you how this has affected my life, okay? It seems so simple, and yet pure chaos. Here's the timeline, Daddy Gang. Picture this. This beautiful man and I have been talking for a few months now. It started on a whim. You guys have heard the story. It's amazing. You guys have been part of this journey, okay? But this man is a man of privacy and integrity. It's extremely lovely. So basically, in the beginning of our relationship, we were just talking about how the show and all the things and his job and whatever. And we talked about it and we agreed that I would not follow him from my main public Alexander Instagram account. Totally fine. He's a private person. He didn't sign up for this psychosis. Fair enough. So, with that said, if I am not following him, how do you think that makes me fucking feel? Out of the loop and not okay. What is he posting? I don't know. Do you guys know? I don't know. So I'm not going to lie. It's been a stressful couple months. Not being able to stalk and get in and around his asshole, and by in and around his asshole, I mean look at his Instagram, it's been hard. But just because I don't follow him, I decided, all right, that's fine. We'll figure that situation out when due time comes. But for right now, why don't I at least feel a little bit connected and just DM him from my main account so that we can be in each other's DMs, send each other cute little memes. Maybe I'll send him a fucking cute dog picture and say, hey, wink, wink, my birthday's coming up. No, sorry, it just happened. But you guys get it. I've always said, being able to communicate with someone that you're talking to on different platforms, it's fun. You're texting, you're FaceTiming, you're DMing each other. Brilliant. Yes, I know. Thank you. So it's like last week on like a fucking random Wednesday, I decide to put the plan into action, Daddy Gang, and slide the fuck in. Now, the first order of business is, what is even his fucking Instagram account? I've never asked him. I Google his name and I click on the linked Instagram account that matches his name. It's like, oh, this is his Instagram. So I head for the kill. I decide to take the sexual route for the slide in. Classic. What else would you expect? And what I do is I detail a time that he gloriously came inside my pussy. And then I ask him to send me a dick pic so that I could touch myself later to it and think about the time that he filled me up. A classic love story. Because this man doesn't really use Instagram and he's not on it often, or at least he's told me, I'm on to you. I expect it's going to take a fucking minute for him to respond, but I'm feeling great about my slide in. So, days go by, Daddy Gang, days, and this message hasn't been opened. About 4 days later, and by 4 I mean exactly on the dot 4 days later, because I was counting calendar day after calendar day, waiting for this motherfucker to open it. I wake up and I have a notification that he answered me, and my heart skips a fucking beat. Oh my God, let the Instagram flirting begin. As if we don't talk every day. Still, it's fun. So, his response is, how do I explain this? Very not what I expected it to be. It threw me for a loop. I wasn't anticipating this response, but as you know, we're a go-getter and we can shapeshift and we can move and groove in whatever direction we're pulled. So I was like, okay, here we go. What did he respond with, Alex? He went the route of not knowing me. And I thought it was interesting at first because I'm like, okay, I mean, I guess we could maybe role play like, ooh, like, you know, I don't know you. Like, who are you? Like, what do you mean you want a dick pic kind of vibe? So I'm like, all right, I'm down. I mean, the response was a little bit more dry and aggressive, but I went with it. His response was, and I quote, "Excuse me, ? Send. The next one, who is this? ? And then the third one, what is going on? At the time, I was confused by his lack of flirtation, considering on phone calls it's much more suave and in it to win it. But who knows? Maybe his DM game isn't of the same stature as his texting and FaceTime game. That's okay. So I decide to go with it and be a little bit more aggressive, and I spell out his first name in all caps, and then I proceed to say something along the lines of, do you want a picture of my pussy first? Blah, blah, blah. Let me get that dick pic. Like, mind you guys, this is someone I've been talking to for a few months now. Okay, so like, this is funny. I look into the DM after I offer pussy pics. And he has left me on red. Now, I am no bitch, and I refuse to let my ego take a stab like that. So naturally, I pick up my fucking cell phone and I FaceTime that motherfucker. And he answers looking all beautiful and tan and luscious. And I'm like, what the fuck? And he's like, huh? Hi to you too, babe. And I'm like, why the fuck are you leaving me on red? Do you not want this pussy? And Daddy Gang, when I tell you, this man looks at me as if I am talking gibberish. He goes, what are you fucking talking about? And I said, I DM'd you and you're leaving me on red. And he goes, Alex, I have no idea what you're talking about. I just kind of the eyelashes bat a little bit. And I'm like, what do you mean? And he's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, I DM'd you and you DM'd me back pretending you don't know me. And I DM'd you back again and you left me on red. And he's like, you never DM'd. He's like, you never DM'd me, Alex. Daddy Gang, in that very moment, I realized I was, in fact, DMing the wrong man. I was, in fact, DMing a man with the same exact name as the man that I am fucking and I am dating. However, it was not his fucking Instagram. Alexandra Cooper, with her verified account, I am sexually harassing this man. Send me your fucking dick. And this man is genuinely like, please, who is this? Stop messaging me. He proceeded to block me. Okay. Honestly, thank fucking God he decided to go the block route as opposed to being like, yeah, send me the pussy and I'll send you the dick. I have no idea who this man is. I look at the man that I'm dating on FaceTime. I'm about to start, it wasn't a ball my eyes out moment, but it was like a holy fucking shit. What? I'm sorry, what? Because I didn't believe him at first. I thought he was fucking with me. He looks me in the eyes and goes, Alex, I have never gotten a DM from you. So I proceed to send him a screenshot of what I was DMing this poor man with the same exact name as him. And I said, that is literally on Google when I go and type in your name and Instagram, that is what is linked to your name. And he's like, babe, that is not my fucking Instagram. Oh, okay. So that was my induction into dating a guy with a private account. I couldn't even find the real fucking account. And a shout out to you, whoever you are out there. You know who you are. The man with the same name as the other man that I'm dating. Thank you. Thank you for not reporting me. Or as far as I know, you haven't yet. God bless you and God bless your family. And I'm so sorry. You'll never be hearing from me again. Although I can't contact you because you full-blown blocked me. Anyways, now that that's in the past, God bless, then I turn to the real guy that I'm dating, and I'm like, okay, respectfully, can you send me a fucking link to your Instagram? How about we just do that? He's like, yes. He's like, yes, calm down. I'll send you my link. And here's the update on that. I had told him, maybe I'll follow you from my fake account. And he blinked a few times and looked a little concerned that I have a fake account. And I did tell him that my fake account, the name is Frank Bouchard. And now I'm realizing I'm going to have to go change that one. And I identify as a male on my fake account. He's like, okay, you fucking psycho. But he knows I'm crazy. And he was like, yeah, that's fine. Follow me on your fake account. Like, it's not like I'm trying to hide anything from you. I just obviously I don't want people coming and stalking my life. And I'm like, right. Totally. But daddy gang, you're going to be shocked. Shocker up the ass. I have not followed him yet. And all of you are like, Alex, how come? He's giving you the go. I don't know. I literally think it's called personal growth. A year ago, I would have said, no, you're a fucking idiot. His last Instagram picture is probably with his fucking girlfriend. In all seriousness, I think I don't want to follow him yet because I'm enjoying the fact that for the first time in my life, this is the first man that I've ever dated with a private Instagram account that is a private person and the relationship isn't so social media driven. And I kind of fucking like it. And I feel like the minute I follow him, I know where I'll be every minute of every day. And it will be inside of his Instagram, stalking every single situation going on. So I think I'm just trying to be like, all right, maybe the healthy thing to do is kind of live in this non-social media world for a minute with him and enjoy that. And I'm pretty fucking sure my therapist would say that is personal growth. But then I'm going to bitch slap that bitch if I do go finally follow him in a year. And I'm like, so he has a wife and kids. Okay. All right. Welcome to Call Her Daddy this week, folks. Full blown health, entering a new era. And as you can see, the bitch is on the move. Let's take a little commercial break. I need a sip of tequila. Roman. Huh? Hold on. We have a commercial break. Roman is coming through. Hello, my name is Roman, and if your penis doesn't last long, have no fear. I am here. Okay, guys, Roman swipes, you know the drill. If your boyfriend, if your husband, if you listening to this, if you're splooging a little too fucking quick, Harry, if all of a sudden you're like, don't do it, don't fucking do it, and then kaboom, you're fucking splooging in that pussy or splooging in that asshole, and it's like a disaster. You have no dick game. Have no fear. Roman swipes. Guys, they are clinically proven to help you last longer in the bedroom. They are effective, easy to use, and fast acting, and they do not require a prescription. They are super discreet in unmarked packaging, so you can put it in your fucking pocket, you little weirdo. No one will ever know what you're doing. You swipe it on your dick, and then you go to Pound Town till the sun fucking rises. Woo! So guys, try them out. Get them for your boyfriend. Get them for yourselves. Go to getroman.com/daddy, and you're going to get your first month of swipes for just $5 when you choose a monthly plan. Again, that is getroman.com/daddy. So, Daddy Gang, health and wellness this week. Health and wellness this week in all facets. Health and wellness also with regard to our sex lives. This week I'm having on a guest that I truly believe looks at sex and wants us all to succeed, wants us all to come, wants us all to have orgasms, wants every man to be satisfied, every woman to be satisfied, and she brings a lot of fucking big ass facts that make it happen. Daddy Gang. Emily Morse is sitting before me. She's a sex therapist. She's an author. She's a media personality. She's the host of the podcast Sex with Emily, and she has her Sirius XM radio show Sex with Emily. Welcome.
So excited to be here.
You have no idea because I jokingly am like, guys, I have all the answers. And I am so excited to be like, bitches, listen the fuck up. I actually have a sex therapist on my show. So now you can be like, yes, you're right, Alex, or no, you're wrong, Alex.
Okay.
I also think, Daddy Gang, I wanted to bring Emily on specifically because there are some topics that are touchy-feely and can kind of trigger some people. And I think it's been something I've wanted to talk about for a really long time, but I want to make sure it's done right. And Emily is sitting before me, and when I brought these topics up to her, she's like, yeah, okay, let's go.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You're like, oh, sweetheart, I've been doing this for years. Let's go. So let's just get right into it because sex, I mean, we're on the Call Her Daddy podcast right now. Let's get wild.
Foreplay. Let's do
exactly. Let's go. So we're going to start to talk about one topic that could be triggering to people, and I'm going to put in the time codes of where you can fast forward to. This is a little like warning. If you've ever had any sexual trauma, if you think that you could be triggered by a topic like forced sex, totally understand it's not for everyone. So you should fast forward to this time code. Daddies, go to 29 minutes and 45 seconds. Love you. Okay. Now, Emily, let's get into it. Forced sex, rape fantasies. Even saying that word on this podcast scares me. And I have had so many women write into me being like, can you please explain to me what is wrong with me? Why do I have rape fantasies? Can you kind of go into like what that means and what it is?
Okay, so forced sex fantasies or rape fantasies, but forced sex I think is a better way to say
me too.
it.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that we want to be raped. Yes. And actually in our fantasies it's consensual. If we think about it, like we actually, it's not like we want to be hurt. We don't actually want to be raped. We don't want a stranger to break in. We have a fantasy that we would like to have our partner do with us or like role play it, but we don't actually want that. So let's clarify that. So there's a few theories about why, but first let me say this, is that it's one of the most common fantasies. For men, for women, for non-binary people, it is probably one of the most common. I think it was like 68% of women have had it and like 50-something% of men. Like it's common.
I didn't know with men too.
Do too, yeah.
And that, Daddy Gang, I think like that right there we can just hold because it's like so many women in my DMs are like, I feel strange. Like, why am I thinking about these things? I feel nasty. I feel disgusting. If you guys remember when I had Savannah on, my friend, she came on and I didn't end up putting it in the episode, but she said, I am one of those girls that I enjoy forced sex. And when I watch porn specifically, I don't enjoy watching porn unless the girl is like kind of not enjoying it. And it's like a forced sex situation. And she was like, and then afterwards I'm done masturbating and I feel fucking disgusting. Right. And I'm like, what's wrong with me? And I'm like, wait, no, we need to somehow normalize this. We're not talking about physical abuse.
Nope.
We're talking about a fantasy. That fantasy does not equal reality.
I want to absolve everybody of their guilt.
Okay, yes.
And the shame.
Absolve us.
Now, you guys listen, there's two kinds of fantasies. There's the fantasies that we want to actually have happen in real life. And then there's the fantasies we just want to keep to ourselves.
Yes.
Those are all fine. Now, let's say we already established that it's really common. So just knowing that it's so common, I hope that everyone can just breathe a sigh of relief right now. Be like, oh, chill. It's chill. But the reason why, let's talk about why. There's a few theories. There's a few reasons. The one is that we want to absolve ourselves of any kind of sexual responsibility or sexual, because we have, especially for women, we have so much shame around being sexual. Like, let's say we grew up in a home or in a religious background and they were like, don't have sex till you're married. Masturbation is wrong. To kind of say, you know what? I'm going to completely release all of my responsibility and someone else is taking the initiative and dominating me. I'm shame-free. I'm guilt-free because I didn't have a hand in it.
That is so mentally... That literally makes so much sense. And that's not even where my brain would go, because I'm assuming the next one you're going to say is something about how we enjoy men being super, super aggressive and dominant. But the first one you're bringing up, that's brilliant. Yeah. Daddy Gang, it's like, if you are one of the girls that... There are virgins that listen to my show. If there are women that are less experienced, and every time after sex, I know there are some women that are like, why do I feel this like dark cloud above me after I have sex and I feel awful and I just feel like a bad human being? These women, that makes sense if they're having these emotions. They grew up
listen, and this is, I would love to get it. We could be here for 6 hours.
Yeah.
Because let me just say this. The good news about all this shame and worry we have about sex is that it's stuff that you can change. It's your thought patterns. It's because we grew up in an environment where most of us, especially in America, even if your parents weren't super religious or something happened, we are mostly told that women shouldn't be sexual. If you are, then you're sluts. Or maybe you were. Every day you were hearing that like it is wrong. And so every time we masturbate, every time we do something sexual, we have sex with someone, we feel guilt and shame. And that is a process of undoing. That's in therapy. That's in listening to what we're saying right now is like, it's okay. And challenging, like if you're like, well, it's wrong. I want everyone to take a beat and go, okay, so you think it's wrong. Where did that come from?
Yes.
Does it still work? Is it still true? Like, is it true? Whoever, like, does it work for you? Because we get to challenge our limiting beliefs and say, okay, I heard this from my mom or from the church or from wherever, but actually it doesn't serve me anymore. And then you let go of shit that doesn't serve you. You're like, nope, I'm not taking that into the rest of my life. Fuck that.
Literally so beautiful. And I think that's like a huge reason why I wanted to start Call Her Daddy, because it was like, the amount, just all the way down to the basics of like, why is it so normal in society when we're like, yeah, and then he was like jacking off. A guy can jack off and it's like a joke, like, oh yeah, men jack off all the time. The thought of a woman masturbating, it's like, wait, what?
We never talk about it.
Oh my God.
We never talk about female masturbation. It's always men. It's always okay. But when we do it, I mean, did you talk to your friends about masturbation?
I was just about to say, I remember in college, there was one of my college teammates, one of my friends was super open and was like, oh my God, I masturbate all the time. And she was like, ew, like, why are you talking about that? Right. And I realized there are so many women that are not open with their friends about sex. And I think that it can really affect you in the way then you go about sex. If you don't have an open group of friends that talk about it, it can fuck you up.
Fine. And be that friend. I always say that on Sex with Emily. I'm like, be that friend in your friend group. If they're not, be the friend that says, you know what? I realize we've never talked about sex and I masturbate to you. Going back to the forced sex. Other thing though does have to do with this desired part of it that that there's something about like the, like the cheesy like romance novels and like erotica, but we want someone to think we're so hot and they desire us so intensely and they want us so badly that they can't help but force us into sex. Like they grab us and it's aggressive and they're dominating us.
It's so hot. The idea of him being like, oh my God, I can't control myself.
Lust. Yes. Like I can't take another, I'm gonna have to rip your clothes up and throw you down.
Oh my God. Egos I'm like getting turned on. I'm like, right? Oh my God, I love it.
That's what I want.
Exactly.
That's such a fantasy. So that's like one of the, I'd say that's the second reason. And then the third is when you are a dominant human, and they used to say this about men, but I hate like putting genders into this, but in a lot of our daily life, we are dominant. You're a business woman. Right. I'm a submissive mostly. Oh. Like I'm like, take over.
Take me
Not only do I have a job, but I'm talking about sex all day.
Yes.
I want to be dominated. I don't want to have to think about it in my day-to-day life. I'm on top of it. So just like dominate me.
Yes.
So that's
so interesting because I'm thinking, I remember there's a lot of girls that write in saying that they started hooking up with these businessmen that are so successful, and in the bedroom, they like to be dominated.
That's it.
And it's because when they're these big ass CEOs at these huge companies that a lot of us would know their name in an article, they want a girl to be dominant in the bedroom because in their
I want to
life,
wear a diaper.
Yes. It literally, I want to wear a diaper.
Legit.
I want to act like a baby because these men 24/7 are the boss in every scenario. So in the bedroom.
Yeah. It also shows that women who have been sexually assaulted, and we do know the numbers are like 3 out of 5 women have had some kind of sexual assault. There is some correlation that if you've had some kind of sexual trauma in your life, that the way our brains are associating it, maybe it was a family member, something horrible happened. Right. We start to like twist it and associate it with the trauma. Like it's our way of subconsciously trying to heal it.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh, somehow it's the way I'm getting love and acceptance, but we know it's fucked up, and then we feel worse about it. Yep. But there is some stuff, and I talk about this a lot in my show, but there are some therapies, like there's like somatic therapy where you get into your body, or EMDR is a trauma therapy, that if it really is preventing you from like having a pleasurable sex life, you don't have to live with this guilt and the trauma around it. I just want to say that. But also if you're like, I'm fine with it, fine, then embrace it and say, yeah, I had sexual trauma. And like, I know some women who have dealt with it, they've accepted, like so much of what we go through is accepting it. So they're like, oh, I accept that I had assault and it turns me on to have a forced sex fantasy. And the more I can make peace with that and say, okay, well, it was my earliest sexual association, I'm going to be okay with it.
That's
so there's
beautiful.
Like choices here.
I love that you just said that, because I remember I like lightly touched on it in answering someone's question once, and I couldn't believe the amount of positive feedback I got from basically just saying like, you can have a healthy, normal sex life. If you have been assaulted in the past, that does not label you like you're fucked up forever.
No.
And don't let it like control you, and don't let it be you. Like, you can work to become and enjoy your sex life. That person that did that to you, they don't get to own you for the rest of your life. You need to somehow find a way, like you said, therapy, or you just coming to terms with like, that happened and I'm moving forward. Everyone has a different way of coping, but you deserve to live your best fucking life.
We
and
all deserve pleasure.
do not let that become who you are and your identity.
Right.
I love getting choked in the bedroom. I love getting like slapped around a little bit. I think I remember talking about it with Savannah though. Like, there are specific situations. I would love to know if this has ever happened to you. Okay, so when you are engaging in like aggressive sex in the bedroom, daddy gang, sometimes in the heat of the moment, it's so hot. But once you're doing it, I have literally had moments where like, and it's so hard because it's not his fault, but like all of a sudden the slap is like a little too hard. And I'm the one being like, slap me, choke me. And then it's a little too hard. And like, I have literally had moments after sex where like I'm crying because it's like, it was so much. And it's like, fuck. And I remember Savannah telling me he choked her so hard and she liked it and she had the best orgasm. And afterwards, she had blood vessels popped in her face. And she was like, I liked it, but I was like, what the fuck? And then you have this weird emotional back and forth because it was so
intense.
Much.
Yeah.
And I've had moments where I'm like, it's a lot emotionally.
I think this is why communication is the most important thing with sex, and clarifying it. So if that happens, and sometimes you're with someone just once and it happens.
Yes.
But if you're in a relationship with someone, talking about sex can be hot.
So hot.
It can be, to be like, okay, listen, let's like talk about what just happened. My advice about talking about any of this stuff is timing. This is my like 3 tips for talking. Is timing, turf, and tone.
Oh.
So you don't talk. Okay, let's just talk about turf.
Okay.
My best advice, do not talk about your sex life in the bedroom. Now we think we're in the bedroom. Of course, we're going to talk about here. Like, if we're cooking, we're going to talk about cooking
the
in
tomatoes.
the kitchen. Like, we're going to be slicing and dicing.
Right.
But the problem with sex of being like, this is what was good and not bad in the bedroom, is that we're in an aroused state. We're in an altered state, essentially. And so if we want to have a constructive conversation, we might not hear it. We just had an orgasm.
Right.
We're like, no. So turf is like outside the bedroom. And the best time is when you're just like chilling. You're on a walk. And if it's uncomfortable for you, which for most people, it's so painful, they'd rather be choked and have blood vessels than talk about sex.
Literally.
Like, legit.
Like, I'm going to stop breathing, but like I'd rather do that than tell him how uncomfortable I am.
Right.
And it's like, no.
Exactly.
Okay, so turf, I love
turf.
this.
So outside the bedroom when you're going on a walk. And then you've got your timing. So just make sure you're not like hungry. I always say halt. Hungry, angry, lonely, tired. Like if you're just doing it, you're like, fuck you, and you never go down on me and all that. No. And then the other thing is tone. It is not, when you choked me, were you trying to kill me? Or why don't you ever go down? Like, I always hear that. Like, you never do this or you never initiate. Right. You have to be, your tone is, check this. It is curious. It's open. It is collaborative. It's like, hey, babe, so let's, my favorite compliment sandwich. You're like, hey, so that sex was so hot the other night. Boom. Like the way we were like, you're aggressive and you're touching me. Like that was really hot. And I think like next time, sometimes it got so hot and it was like, it felt great, but I didn't want it in the moment. It was hard to stop. So from now on, if I pull away, that doesn't necessarily mean I want to stop sex altogether. It just means stop, choke, we ease.
Yeah.
And that might seem super obvious to people, but what happens is if you pull away, what we're afraid of, which happens, let's say you don't have a conversation and you pull away, then he's like, oh, what did you say? What's that? And then you're like, no, I want to keep fucking. I want to keep going.
And then the mood is ruined, and he's soft, and you're like, fuck, I ruined the whole thing. So
now
then
I
you
start again. I don't want to start again.
Yes.
And then you realize that once you take all the weirdness and awkwardness, it actually becomes so much hotter because you're getting your needs met.
So I think we can kind of close out the forced sex fantasy of just explaining to everyone, like, you do not have to have shame of yourself, and you should honestly embrace that.
Yeah.
Part of what you're into. Like, I'm sitting on this podcast openly being like, I like a man to dominate me. There are some women that are like, I like to be dominant in the bedroom. Everyone has their different.
Why don't we clear that?
Yeah.
Like, you're like, oh, should we get Italian tonight or should we get Mexican?
Right.
Why not be like, I'm a dominant. What do you like?
Yes.
But the reason why, you know why they don't, Alex, because most people don't actually know. Some people don't know what they want. They haven't really thought about it, or maybe they haven't enough experience yet. So what I would say to those people is, if you still actually don't know, you could say, I'm curious to like explore things and just look at what you do like. And then you start to like, when you're with someone that you actually can talk to, then you can kind of figure it out.
That's so interesting because for the first time in a while, I was actually super turned on. So I'm like hooking up with this guy in LA right now. It's how early on do you tell a man that you are into being dominated, because you don't want to be too aggressive with it. So it was really hot to me. And men listening, this is something that I would encourage you to do. But we were hooking up and just like making out. And I forget how it got started, but he basically said like, I want you to tell me what turns you on and what you like, because I want to be anything for you. And he did it in a way of being like, I felt so open sexually with him to finally be like, I love to be dominated. And when I said that to him, he was like, that's so fucking hot. Like, yes. And I was like, I don't think I've had a lot of men that have looked at me and been like, what do you like? Right. And for a woman, that to me, men listening, like that made me want to be 10 times kinkier, 10 times freakier, because I'm like, oh, this guy is down.
You felt
a lot
safe.
of women, it's safe, and a lot of women can get insecure. I don't know if I want to do that yet. Is he going to judge me? This guy was like, I want all of you, and whatever you're into, I'm into. Let's go for it.
Yeah, and not every man's going to be like that. So I say the men who do say to you, oh, you must be super sexual. How do you know that? I'm not into it. I say walk. Yeah. That's a sign to say he's not your guy. Yeah. And if we can teach men to realize that once you give and once you're open sexually to give, it's going to come back to you as well. Right. You're more likely to get your needs met when you get curious about what your partner's into.
Commercial. Hey guys, can I quickly talk to you guys about my hair? No, Alex, you have a broom. You have a fucking broom. No, I don't. Stop fucking name calling, you bitches. No, I fucking don't. Function of fucking beauty. Function of Beauty is hair care that is formulated specifically for you. You guys know the drill. You go onto their website and you take a hair quiz, which is kind of fucking dope. You tell them what you want to specifically work on for your hair, and you also just tell them about your hair. Listen, bitches with straight hair, you're gonna have a little bit of a different fucking formula as opposed to curly bitches. And then they put a custom formula bottle together for you, and then they deliver it to you. Also, it's pretty cute because you can personalize your entire kit. So you can pick what you want your shampoo color to be, your conditioner color to be, and then you can also put your name on it. This has been an amazing gift giving opportunity. I have given this to my friends. You put their name on it, you pick their favorite colors, and you're a great friend. Guys, their formulas are vegan, cruelty free. I have a special offer for you bitches today because you're part of the Daddy Gang, and Daddy Gang gets special treatment. You're going to go to functionofbeauty.com/daddy. And when you place any order, you are going to get a free treatment, a hair serum, a hair mask, or a leave-in conditioner with any purchase. It's up to $25 value free. Functionofbeauty.com/daddy. We are transitioning to orgasms.
Yes.
Because I'm like, Emily, come on the show. Ladies, there are so many girls that are just so defeated. I have literally them written down. Yeah. Why can't I ever finish during sex? I've been to the OBGYN. There's nothing wrong with my vagina. Let's talk about how to come. Why can't I come? Why can I orgasm with my vibrator but not with the man? Like, let's get into it.
Should we share DMs? I swear to God.
No, literally.
I get it too, but forever.
It makes me sad.
Listen, okay. Most women are going to at some point have a problem with orgasm. But let me just say this. You are responsible for your own orgasm. It's not about anyone giving you an orgasm. It's not about them figuring out your body. Like, I used to believe that someday my prince will come and so will I.
Oh my God. Emily, that was a good one.
Yeah,
oh
I was like, oh my God, he's going to ride up on a horse and he's going to fucking know my body and know what I need. Because I didn't know. Right. I wasn't told. I had no sex education. I was like, and then I kept not having orgasms. I used to always fake orgasms before this became like my career. Because I was like, this sex has got to be better than this. So if I tell you that you are responsible. So, and then
that's like a mind fuck. Like, I think a lot of people are like, whoa.
It's not about a man. They don't know. They don't know. How the hell would they know? If you don't know, why do they know?
Right.
They don't fucking know. How nobody knows.
Literally nobody knows. If you don't know, how does he know?
Right. And if you put 100 women in a room right now and they were all orgasmed, let's say they were all masturbating.
Okay.
100 women. They would all be doing something a little bit different. It doesn't look the same, and their vulvas don't look the same, and we all want something different. And so my heart goes out to men who feel like they have to make the moves, they have to initiate, they have to know. Take responsibility for your orgasm.
First and foremost, if anyone's going to do it, you're going to do it yourself. Yeah. And I'm used to make jokes about being like, take a mirror and go put it down
Now
on your
do
vagina
it.
and
Take a
stare
look.
at yourself. Do you even know what your vagina looks like?
Could you pick it out of a lineup? Like if I put your vagina on a wall,
Yes.
would you know?
Would you know? If you can't, then you are like failing. Like, come on, girls, you got to that's your best friend.
Your BFF.
That is your BFF.
Yeah.
And so, girls, it's like learn your own body and be like, oh, I know how to make myself come when I'm in my room. Then we transition to the bedroom with a man.
Right. So much easier.
So much easier.
Yeah. And then he's going to be psyched to be like, oh, great, you're going to show me? Awesome. And we think that they're not because we want to give them all the power.
No.
And that's just the patriarchy. That's how we were raised.
Right.
That is not the reality of great sex. No. Now, for some women, they just can't. And a toy is awesome. Lube is important. I'm telling you. You know I could rant on lube forever.
Yes, you always...
Lube on every nightstand is my dream. Like, leave it out. Take it out from under the goddamn
Why
bed.
are people so awkward about lube?
Want to hear why?
But tell me.
Because we are told, because the same
It's
thing.
like, why is your pussy not wet?
You're not wet. And if your pussy's not wet, my dick's not big enough. If your pussy, like if I did something
then you're
wrong,
not turned on.
You're not
it's
turned
like,
on.
no.
You're
No.
not turned on. And it has nothing to do with that. So a women's wetness level, like I could be super wet and not turned on.
Yes.
I could be so fucking turned on and
And
not wet.
dry as the Sahara.
So-
and it's like, what the fuck?
I swear I'm turned on.
I swear.
If you have a lube on your nightstand, just sitting there and you take a pump and before masturbation, a hand job, a blow job, oral sex, a few drops of lube and you rub it into your clitoris, you can rub it on a penis.
Yes.
There's no shame in the lube game. I just
no
want everyone
shame
to know
in the
that.
lube game.
Yeah.
Emily coming with the facts today.
It's true.
I love this.
The Institute did a study that showed when lube was added, and this was like 5 years ago, women were 80% more likely to orgasm just from a few drops of lube on their clitoris.
Is everyone listening? Yeah. Are you guys listening? And press pause and take a fat note.
Write that shit
Go
down.
buy yourself lube.
So then you got to think about if you've tried this, you've tried your fingers, your hands. Some women try the shower head, toys, and it still doesn't work. There's a few factors.
Okay.
It could be in your head. There could be like shame. We already covered. Like it could be religion. It could be you think it's wrong.
Yeah.
Anxiety, stress. You're worried about it. You're obsessing about it, and it won't happen. It could be medication. If you're taking antidepressants. Antidepressants have a huge impact on your libido, even birth control pill. So like check all those boxes. And here's the other thing is like it's not all about orgasm, but the majority of women do not orgasm with penetration.
Right.
Only 20% do.
Thank you.
That
Spitting facts
just
here.
Listen, 20% of women have an orgasm with a penis. And you're like, why didn't I know that? Because everything we see in movies, in porn.
He just sticks it in and she's like, oh, I just had an orgasm.
That doesn't happen.
What?
That is
he
not
wasn't
real.
even touching her clit.
That's what I say.
What?
I'm like, you are nowhere near anything. That did not feel good. I'm always like,
Literally.
stop. Exactly. So just know that we're not set up for success sexually as women. It's like we constantly feel like, I remember like even guys going down on me or like during sex, I'm like staring at the clock. I'm like, okay, he's going down on me. It's been 8 minutes, 9 minutes.
Right.
Why aren't I
Stress.
coming at stress? Like there's an orgasm gap too because guys come between 6 and 10 minutes. Women are like between 20 and 40 minutes.
So I didn't know that time.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
Yeah. It's true.
Put that in your notes. Women, do not feel shame that it takes you longer. And that is why men have to understand you need foreplay. We need some teasing.
Yeah.
We need some kissing. We need some licking. You need to put in work on her
in the
clit
time.
before she can even get close to having an orgasm.
And it's not about pounding away.
No.
Do not pound
Please.
away.
We do not need the pounding.
Don't pound. I mean, the jackhammer.
No.
Nope.
Oh, ow.
It
My
gets
vagina
guys
hurt.
up. I know. Same.
Like, ow. Please
like
stop.
now I've got to. Like just remember that like women are like a slow cooker, right? Like if you warm her up, and a man's like a frying pan. Like he walks in, he's like, Alex, you're so hot. Let me go. I've got this erection.
30 seconds.
Yeah,
It's
but you're like, okay, thanks. Good. Didn't even see you walk in.
Right.
Glad you're here. That's just how it works. And
That's actually such a good analogy. Like we are the oven, they are a frying pan.
Exactly.
And we're on two different timetables. So men need to understand that, and women, you need to understand that and not be stressed to try to be a fucking frying pan.
You'll never
then you're
be a
just
frying
faking
pan.
it. You're
You'll
faking
never
it.
be a frying pan. So this is going back to the vulva versus
Yes.
the vagina. Is that they're not equal. So we're told, oh, sexual organ, vagina, penis. But really it should be penis, vulva, because if I'm telling you that 20% of women are not going to orgasm that way, but it's going to happen externally, the vulva is the exterior part of the vagina. It's everything that you see. And that is where the magic happens.
The magic.
The clitoris has 8,000 nerve endings. The penis has 4.
Bitches.
4,000. Only 4,000. Half. So the clitoris is 8. And let me tell you this. Ready? The clitoris is not just the little bulb. The clitoris has legs, and those legs extend into the labia. So the labia, so when we're talking about masturbation, you want to not just go right for the clitoris. You want to like stroke your labia, inner, outer labia. There's clitoral nerves internally that are behind, like you can't see them, but it's about teasing it and stroking and playing with like different hand tapping, circular motion. And then you can move your fingers inside. But for a lot of women, it's just external. And that's fine too. There's not like an inferior orgasm.
That is so brilliant too, because I think so many girls are like, okay, yes, you said the clit, so I'm going to go for the clit. And you just put the vibrator on your clit. It's like, girls, no.
You need to warm up yourself.
Literally foreplay yourself before you get to the clit. Like the clit is the castle, and you're going up to the castle. And first you're focusing on the, what do you call it?
Just know that there's a lot of erectile tissue that goes inside and outside, and it's all connected, and just find where yours are. But first, if you want to go in, like when we're talking about masturbation, like you're saying, like the best thing is get curious. Like how does everything feel? Because you might find that like teasing yourself, like you're saying before you get to the castle, like what's the moat like? Like let's go over the bridge. Let's look at the grass. Are there animals? There's a dragon. Like we're going to look, and like you realize like you're teasing your inner thighs, like you're going up there slowly. And then that part of it is like kind of like an edging for women. It's like you are building towards the orgasm. That might be the part that turns you on. So when you go right for the clit, it's sometimes it's painful. And so you can explore. I love the mirror thing, because here's the other cool thing about a mirror. If you touch yourself and you look, you'll be like, oh, when I start to get aroused, the blood starts to like, it gets engorged, like your clitoris, the clitoral hood moves back. You're like, oh. It's hot. Like, look at my body. I can see what's happening. Like, and then I remember telling that to a boyfriend. I was like, look, do you see that? He's like, oh, that's really hot. And then he got into making that happen. Like,
Emily, wait, that is so hot.
Enroll the guy.
Wait, so did you
enroll him into your, like, be like, look, babe, my clitoris, when you touch it, like, it gets swelled and this happens. That's because of you. Like, this is how you do it. Oh, yeah.
Wait, that is so hot. So would you start to like touch yourself first and show him?
I'd be like, look, this is what I need. Yeah, because I know he doesn't know.
Exactly. And how should they? A vagina is so scary to a man. He's like, that looks.
It's like the Rubik's Cube of life. You're like, I don't fucking know what that.
He's like, I want to do everything to it. I want to make it feel great. I just have nowhere to start. I know there's a hole, and I'm just like going to try to get in there.
But it's not about the hole. It's about the vulva.
Exactly. Commercial break for an opportunity to look down at your fucking pants and let me fucking know who's wearing khakis. Who the fuck is wearing khakis today? Take them off. Alex, I'm in public. Don't care. Take them the fuck off. Guys, we don't wear khakis here on Call Her Daddy. If you have to for your work, fine. But out of the fucking workplace, there is no exception. Guys, Stitch Fix, you know the drill. We're helping you elevate your game, okay? Stitch Fix is an online personal styling service that delivers your favorite clothing, shoes, and accessories directly to you. You basically complete a style profile, and then you are paired with a personal stylist that's going to send you hand-picked box items that are based on your style and your preference. So if you're a little preppy-ass bitch, if you're a little slutty-ass bitch, whatever you are, they will cater your box towards you. Shipping, exchanges, and returns are all free, and the $20 styling fee is automatically applied towards anything you keep in your box. Guys, also Stitch Fix, they have solutions for women, vaginas, men, dicks, and then kids all around the US and now the UK. Hopefully no kids are really listening to the show, but if you have a kid, hey, hit them up. Okay, guys, you're going to go to stitchfix.com/daddy to get an extra 25% off when you keep everything in your box. Again, that is stitchfix.com/daddy. Okay, this is the next big question. The advice on the varying sex drives in a relationship. One person is constantly probably going to have a higher sex drive than the other.
Exactly. High desire, low desire. So in every relationship, there is a high desire partner and a low desire partner. Right. So as long as we accept that, at the beginning, the honeymoon phase, everyone wants sex all the time.
Right.
But eventually, it sorts itself out, and typically, and it's not always a man. I used to think that too. Before I had this, career, it was like. Right. Women are frigid. Men want sex all the time.
Right.
Not at all true. No. It's women, it's men. You probably hear all of it.
Yep.
So knowing that, you just got to work with it, because there's always going to be someone. And the low desire partner has the power. Right. Because they're the gatekeeper to the sex. Right. So they're deciding if it's going to happen or not. If your partner wants it every day and you don't, then you literally have to negotiate and be like, okay, 3.5 times a week. And maybe some other days it's not it's mutual masturbation, so you both get off, or it's just a massage, or it's nothing, but like that's okay. But it's setting expectations, because if someone wants it every day and you know you don't, that's okay. But when you don't talk about it, then it becomes so tense.
Resentment, and it's like what?
And so then that can be a really odd dynamic, because if you're the one who's always wanting and going after it, and your partner's like no, and then you feel rejected, and then it's this whole really bad dynamic.
Do you have any advice like for women that like I have a lot of women writing in being like, why am I just like never horny? And like how do we even
I'll tell you.
Okay,
tell
us.
Listen here, girl. It's seriously because we don't understand what turns arousal, because we are still equating our arousal to the frying pan. The frying pan walks in, sees hot Alex there at her computer, and he's got an erection that's like
ginormous,
and you're
throbbing.
like, I was just finishing a fucking email. I didn't see you walk in.
You're like, hi.
But men are more spontaneous arousal. Like they see you, they're turned on. The majority of women, hear this, write this down. The majority of women are not going to spontaneously be turned aroused. Our job then, again, going back to ourselves, understanding, well, what does get me in the mood? For some women, they're like, well, when he told me I was really hot, or he did the dishes, he did this favor for me, he bought me this really cool gift, we were on vacation. Like, figure out all the things that need to happen. What watching porn together, exchanging fantasies. If you have not been having orgasms and your entire sex life has been based on pleasing your partner, I wouldn't want sex either.
Yeah.
What the hell are you getting out of it?
Right.
So once you
it's like a chore.
understand, once you're like, I'm going to wear that thing that makes me feel sexy.
Right.
I'm going to masturbate before. I'm going to have my toy charged. I'm going to set the environment that makes me like have a few glasses of wine or one glass, whatever makes you feel.
Get hammered.
Like, don't get hammered, because that doesn't, we think it does, but mostly
no.
its inhibitions are gone, and then we don't remember. We black out. But we all think that's good. Blackout sex.
But sometimes a glass of wine does help.
Glass of wine.
Then
nerves,
it just like your
weed,
walls
whatever,
are down.
like a hit, whatever.
Yes.
Listen, guys, I'm just saying find what works for you. But mostly it's in our heads, and you don't need any substance. You just need to do a little work to figure out, what is that?
And it's so true. Men are so visual. He can walk in the room and be like, oh my God, Alex, you're wearing those leggings. I have the biggest boner. And I'm like, what are
those
you
leggings
talking?
are hot.
Right. So I'm like, wait, what? And women, that's such an amazing way to look at it. It's like, what turns you on? And I've said on my show before, like, I literally get turned on when I'm taking nudes. When you're taking pictures of yourself and you are looking at angles of your body and you're like putting on lingerie or a cute little outfit, like you start to feel hot.
Yeah.
And then naturally, if you are someone that has figured their self out and you're masturbating and you know what you like and you're taking pictures, all of a sudden, maybe you get on your bed, maybe you start masturbating. So if that turns you on, then transitioning that to your sex life. Okay, well, if you know he's going to come home soon, why don't you start taking pictures, and maybe you send him one, and then maybe you start masturbating before he gets home. And like, you need to learn what you like and you build up to it.
And role play it too. You can even be like, let's do something. Let's recreate our first date. Let's meet at a bar and change names. Like, there's so many little things you could do.
I want to ask you about role play.
So fun.
How so many women are in their heads and they're like, sorry, I feel like a fucking weirdo to be like, babe, like I'm going to pretend to be like your little slave, whatever. And it's like, how do you even initiate turning on that like different part of yourself and having the guy engage in like, what do we say and what do we do? Like, how do you even go about it?
You just kind of get out. Well, first, again, it's all talking about it. Like, these are the fun things to be outside the bedroom. Be like, I thought this would be hot. And then you just think like, let's go shopping for costumes, or let's just pull something out of the closet. Like, what would be hot? And then it could be awkward at first. It's weird every time you try something new, but then you realize something really interesting happens. Once you get past the giggling or it's weird and you keep going, then you're like, I actually am a French maid. Yes. And you actually did just get into your room. And what would the French maid do? Yes. What would the schoolgirl do? And then you can just sort of leave yourself and be someone else. And then there's someone else. And then that becomes interesting. Yes. Rather than, I'm fucking the same person, staring at the same ceiling, doing the goddamn thing. So you just kind of realize that sex is funny, messy, weird, all the things.
This is my favorite question. And Emily, I am ready to hear what you have to say about this. Okay. Everyone in the daddy gang listening, here we go. Number 1, can you teach yourself to squirt? Number 2, what the fuck is the liquid that comes out when you squirt? What is it? What is going on?
Okay. Pretty much you could teach yourself to squirt. But I don't want it to be like going to set you up for failure.
No.
But it's all internal stimulation. So
Okay.
it's those internal clitoral nerves. You could do it with a finger, a toy, or a penis. I have to say that it's probably best with a toy or a penis, or your partner's fingers if they have like longer hands, whatever, longer fingers.
Right.
First off, it helps to, again, like I said, like have that, be aroused, be turned on already.
Totally.
Have a clitoral orgasm. Empty your bladder. We'll address that part after.
Empty your bladder, girls.
So then it's just like it's a continued penetration into your vagina, and it's in one spot, and it's sort of a going in and out, thrusting and sort of hitting a one spot. And it's also like a little bit slower though. It's not even a fast. It's sort of like a hitting a spot, slower. And then eventually you can start to speed it up, but it's like a particular area, not a spot. And once you do that, it also helps to be your pubic mound. Is the area right above the mons pubis, right above your clitoris. I wish I had my vulva puppet.
Right your vulva puppet.
I have a vulva puppet. I
my
do.
God.
I should have brought it.
Oh my God, I love this.
I know. I have to get you one.
This
it's
is
like
amazing.
right above so this area, right where your like pubic hair was or is or whatever. You're pressing on that, and here's what happens when you press on that area. In addition to the internal stimulation, you are stimulating the internal like clitoral nerves,
right?
Which is the G spot. We'll just say is responsible for that kind of release. Because some people can use like a wand vibrator, like a magic wand, and they can squirt that way.
Right.
And that's because you're stimulating it from the outside.
Okay.
But for most of us, it's just a practice. It might, again, not going to happen the first time. And I don't ever want to say that, yes, everyone can squirt. But it's also another thing that helps is doing your Kegel exercises. Yes. Strong pelvic floor.
Yes.
And men can do them too. Just
really?
saying. Yes.
What?
Same way as women. It's those pee stopping muscles. And they're great for men too who have PE, premature ejaculation, helps you last longer. Your pelvic floor muscles are the muscles that are responsible for the contractions in the orgasm.
Got it.
So if you strengthen them, you're more likely to have an orgasm. And I've found when those muscles are strong, it can help have stronger, what was I just saying? Stronger movement. Second release, the muscles moving and the release response for squirting. And so that's how it can happen. And if your muscles, the reason why I say your pelvic floor is strong, because think about it, like that's the releasing. So you're like, you have a stronger muscle to kind of push it out. What are we pushing out? Is that what you want to know?
Yeah. What is this?
So everyone wants to know if it's urine. And first I have to say, who the fuck cares?
Yeah, like who really cares?
Put a blanket down, put a towel down. It doesn't matter. There are traces of urine, and it's from the periurethral glands. It's periurethral
We have
fluids.
never used this big of words on Call Her Daddy. I am loving this.
You know what's so funny is that I actually feel like on my show, I use the basic. It's funny, but you're
I
right.
Jokingly, like, pee on him, and everyone's like, Alex, stop, that's fucked up. I'm like,
pee.
I don't give a fuck.
Well, I don't get. Here's the thing, I don't care either if it's pee. Like people are like, oh, but it is. It has traces of it. It's like fluids in there, and they've done studies. There is urine. It's commingled. But I'm kind of like, if it feels good and it's a release,
right,
and it can be hot, throw a towel down. Like take a do it in the shower.
Yeah. Oh, that's
but
a good
don't
idea.
get tripped up on it. Because that's when we're like, oh, it's gross. And I get it. It can be messy. But again, take it to the floor. Take it to a shower.
I love the pushing down on the pubic region.
That helps with orgasm too.
That's
even if
amazing.
Not squirting. So because I just found this out because that's what I used to do to orgasm. I was like pressing on it even before the whole squirting thing happened. With porn and everything. No one asked about squirting like 10 years ago, but it's porn. So again, if you can't squirt, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, you're fine. There's nothing wrong with you.
And when you squirt, it's not orgasm necessarily. Yeah. You can orgasm, not squirt, squirt, not orgasm. So when you're pressing on this, you're still reaching all these clitoral nerves. And internally, you're like, so yeah, try pressing on it next time. And also like having a finger on your clitoris and then pressing down can also help you.
I feel like we just covered.
That was like a sex marathon.
Literally, we just went through a sex marathon. Emily, whoa. Like, I feel smarter. I feel more confident. I feel horny. I'm ready to go have sex. I'm like, let's go. But thank you so much for coming on. Plug yourself. Tell us where we can find you.
So I have a podcast called Sex with Emily. You can get it on all platforms. It's my 15th year anniversary of it. SiriusXM.
Oh my God,
dude.
that is amazing.
SiriusXM, 5 dates a week, stars 109, Instagram, all the social media, Sex with Emily.
Thank you so much for
having me,
coming
sweetie.
on.
It
was so fun.
Congrats on all the success.
Thank
awesome.
you. Mic check 1 2. Mic check 1 2. Mic check. 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 Mic check 1 2. Check. Oh fuck. Do not ever DM me that you don't like this motherfucking segment. Cause you know what it fucking does to me? You know what it fucking does to me? It makes me wanna go 10 times fucking harder. And when I introduce to you, question. Questions of the motherfucking wake baby. Oh, questions of the motherfucking wake baby. Let's get right into it. We've got a daddy gang question right in front of my face, and I'm gonna read it for you. Are you guys ready? Great. Okay. Father Cooper, bless my fucking soul and help me. I live with 3 other women on my college campus in our dorm. We're all freshmen and all these bitches have boyfriends except me. I feel low-key fucking pressure to have a boyfriend, but I'm talking to 4 guys and they don't know that. But these pussy-ass men aren't really engaging for my liking. Like, maybe 2 are up to par, but none of them fully stepping up to bat yet. Do I even need a boyfriend? Am I doing something wrong? I don't fucking know. Please help. Okay, you do not need a boyfriend. Freshman year of college, if you have a boyfriend, you're a fucking loser. No, I'm just kidding. Well, it's questionable. I think that every girl I knew that had a boyfriend their freshman year of college, they didn't have that boyfriend very soon after. Like, no one with a boyfriend their freshman year of fucking college, they're not even having fucking fun. You have the opportunity. If anything, they're jealous as fuck of you for like having fun and going around. If I was you though, I would start to venture out and try to find more girlfriends that don't have boyfriends. Cause I could see if all 3 of them have boyfriends, you're going to start to just be like, what am I doing? But the minute that you open your eyes to like girls that are also single in college, all of a sudden you're gonna be like, I genuinely feel bad for my roommates. And like, I want to help them escape the life of fucking horror. That's like straight up. Like I remember 2 of my girlfriends in college started freshman year with boyfriends, and they always talk about how they look back freshman year and they're so jealous of how we all went. Even if you're not hooking up with guys, just going to parties and having fun, you got to venture out and find people that don't have boyfriends. And then your poor fucking friends, one day one of them is going to crack and be like, I need to end my relationship. I'm so jealous of your life. Like, please help me. And then the other 2 will follow suit, and then all of a sudden they're going to want to be fucking single. That's just how college goes. But no, freshman year, fuck that. Ooh, this is interesting. Hey, Alex, love the podcast. Recently, I hooked up with a guy, and I am 99% positive that he took a video without my permission while I was sucking his dick. I want the video gone, but I don't want to see him again. How do I ask him to delete the video and make sure it's really gone? Love you. Oh, child. Whoa. Whoa, this is... Oh, fuck. Do you guys remember? That was so fucking long ago. I will never forget. I had a guy that I was seeing and I was super, super fucking close with. And we were both fucked up giving him head. And I was just so drunk, you know, when like I wasn't doing the whole eye contact shit that I preach. Like I was fucking blackout out of my mind. I was just trying to focus on one thing and one thing only. The fucking dick. Finally, I finished giving him head, and like not an ounce of eye contact. Like literally, and it's almost like I didn't even notice I wasn't even giving full eye contact until we're like both passing out. But we ordered Uber Eats, and it's taking so long. So he gives me his phone because we're like full blown basically like dating. He gives me his phone because he's like, babe, I'm gonna like fall asleep, and I take his phone to go get the Uber Eats, and I don't know why, but I just opened his camera roll probably to seeing. This was years ago. I think it was I was literally looking for old girls' nudes, and I found the last thing in his fucking camera roll was a picture of me sucking his dick, and I was mortified. And I like walked in the fucking room and threw the phone at him, and I was like, what the fuck is this? And he started crying, and he was like, I'm sorry, like I just don't see you that often, and like I just wanted to like remember it, and I'm drunk, whatever. And it was a really violating experience. However, I obviously deleted it from his phone, and like he was like, of course you're in a weird predicament. Sorry, that was fucking lengthy, but you're in a weird predicament because this asshole, you're saying you don't even want to fucking see him again. So it's like, how do you go about this? A part of me almost almost feels as though I would suck it up and fake want to see him one more time so you can get that motherfucker in person and sit in the room with him and literally get his fucking phone and be like, I am literally calling the police. Open your fucking phone and show me you're deleting this video, and I'm not fucking around with you, and I'm that fucking crazy. I am a fucking crazy psycho bitch, and if you don't give me your fucking phone and I want to see you delete it, not only from your fucking camera roll, but then we need to go into your deleted, and let's delete it from the deleted app. Let's fucking go. I think you go apeshit on his fucking face, but first you gotta be endearing and cute and sweet, get him in person, and then out of your fucking mind. So my girlfriend of 3 years just suddenly broke up with me. And the excuse was that we were living too far away. 50 miles, LOL. And I recently found out that she was soliciting nudes to her ex and talking to him a bunch while we were still dating. I also remember her passwords to her Snapchat and Instagram. So, like, should I go deeper on this topic? By the way, I haven't logged into either. I'm not that crazy yet. Or should I ghost, block, and erase her from every social media platform and delete all photos of us? Or just keep her on social media and try to make her jealous for revenge? Also, side note, the relationship wasn't toxic at all. That is until I found out about the nudes, and now I realize she's worthless to me and she's going to a big party college, so I don't have any intentions of getting back with her. Okay, let's just for a minute, let's say your name is Josh, let's just kind of reel it in for a minute. If you are saying this girl's worthless to you and you didn't even see a future, I do not think it is necessary to put yourself through any more of going through her Instagram and her Snapchat. You just found out about the nudes. What more do you have to see? If anything, that's just going to be twisting the knife harder, and you're just going to be like, oh, fuck, and you're going to feel 10 times more shitty, especially because you're saying at the time it wasn't an unhealthy relationship. So if I were you, assume, yes, there's probably a shit ton more on the Snapchat, on the Instagram accounts, but what for what? Why are you going to go look at that shit? And it's just going to hurt you more. Anyone listening to this, if you're like, but I didn't even see a future with them, then end it in your mind. You got to just walk away from it. Why keep the pain going? And I don't even think I would like block her. Like, I think, yeah, unfollow her on social media because you don't want to see her everyday shit. But to block someone is a calculated point to make. And I almost think it's like, she's not even worth it. She's fucking around on you and she's sending nudes to her ex. Like, let them be together. Also, what does that say about her? Because if it is her ex, it was an ex for a reason. Now she's going back. So like, good luck to them. But like, I think you walk away. Because this ties into another question. Someone was like, I just got out of a 3-year relationship and I unfollowed him on Instagram because I have no desire to see his face again. But should I block him, or is it good for him to see me still? Unsure. See, this is the shit. I think it's more painful to the other person if you don't block them. Like, unfollow, obviously, the person, but, like, if you don't have to block them, like, if he wasn't crazy or she wasn't crazy and she's trying to, like, ruin your life, obviously, then you're going to block them. But for the most part, I kind of think, like, let him or her, let them, like, look you up occasionally. Like, let them be in pain while you move on. Like, I think it's better to sometimes not block them. Because it's like, no, what? Look at my face. Look at this smile that I just posted on my fucking Instagram. I'm happy. Hey, Daddy, last year I got out of a super toxic relationship and I met someone new. He was hot, older, and everything I didn't have in my last relationship. After 6 months, although it couldn't have been better, I didn't make time for him. 2 months later, he got a girlfriend and was texting me, telling me how he's not over me. I told him to figure his shit out, but eventually I started entertaining him, sending him nudes. We got to talking about getting back together. He hasn't left her, but I think he would. It's just because he doesn't know if I would make time for him again. What would Daddy do? All right, here's the thing. I think you need to figure out what you want. You're like, and I told him to figure it out. No, I think you need to figure out what you want. If you guys have this great connection, but he's scared because you just never make time for him and you don't make an effort, well, are you going to do it now? Like, think about it. What is the point of entertaining this guy? Do you just want him because you can't have him right now? Trust me, I'm not being judgy. I have had a lot of guys where I like them way more when all of a sudden I see that they've kind of moved on. And then I'm like, oh, I want you again. But I've gotten mature enough as with age that I've learned, like, okay, now walk yourself through the situation. And that's what my favorite thing to do. Let's all walk through it together. Hold hands. Daddy gang, hello. Let's walk through this. Okay, he has a new girlfriend. Okay, so now let's pretend he's single. What is going to be different than the last time when you didn't make time for him? Do you really like this guy? Or is it more of a game to you and it's fun? Because not that, listen, you can do whatever you want, but to not be an asshole, my advice would be like, don't make him break up with his girl and then all of a sudden it's like round 2 and you're pulling the same shit. Like, 'cause like, that's not fucking cute. If he leaves her, are you going to be happy? Or are you going to be like, fuck, wait, fuck, get back with her. I don't even have time. I just like texting you when you have a girlfriend. All right, let's do one more. I know this has been a little bit of a long episode, but hopefully you guys don't hate me for it. You're like, Alex, we're so sick of your voice. Please exit stage left. Nope. One more. Okay, this girl says, hi, single father. Thank you for all you've done for my sex life. Hope you can help me out again. My boyfriend and I have been dating for 2 years, and I want to try something new. I want to surprise him by waking him up with head for a middle of the night fuck. Normally, I just ask if he's into it, but I want to completely catch him off guard. Creepy? ? Hot? ? Do I start sucking his soft dick while he's asleep? ? Thank you for all that you do for the daddy gang. Love you lots. Okay, this is just honestly a question that fills my soul with joy. In the past, I have said that the surprise blowjob is one that will truly take a man from being, even if he's not in love, to in love. If he's in love, he's like, baby, let's get married tonight. There's nothing better. Here's the thing also, though. I don't want people coming for me being like, that is literally sexual assault and you can't just go ahead and just start sucking a man's dick. If it is your boyfriend, fucking do it. Here's what you fucking do. Yes, you start sucking his soft dick, but I think what you can do is when a man is asleep, you can kind of put your hand down there and just start rubbing his dick. Like, I know it's going to be soft and it feels maybe weird for like 2 seconds, but usually when they're asleep, they don't even subconsciously know it, but all of a sudden their penis will go from 6 to midnight and it will be an amazing opportunity. And then you literally put your head down there and you start sucking. Have I sucked a soft penis hard? Yes. Is it the most rewarding, fulfilling feeling in the world when you be like, I did that? Like, he didn't even fully, I did that from start to fucking finish. It's an amazing feeling. So, daddy, if I were you and you're in a 2-year relationship and you are like this with your boyfriend where you want to spice shit up, abso-fucking-lutely. Duck under the fucking covers, put the little soft weenie in your fucking mouth, pop it in there like it's a fucking gumball, and go to town, sweetheart. There is no shame in the fucking dick game inside of your mouth and you sucking the soul out of it. All right, daddy fucking gang. That is it for this week, folks. I mean, the personal growth. I hope you guys learned something. I hope you guys feel a little healthier. Emily was amazing to just have on. I think, we were able to hit some topics that I personally, sometimes you're all like, Alex, we kind of listen more for the comedic aspect of it than the actual advice. Totally fair. Totally fair. I can respect that. Do I agree? But I respect it. Daddy gang, I love you guys. Go follow me on Instagram. It's Alexandra Cooper. Go call her daddy on Instagram. And I hope you guys have a great fucking Wednesday. It's always a great day when it's Wednesday. Also, let me know what you guys want for comedy content. You slide in. You let me know what you big dogs want, and I will fucking try to make it happen. You guys know the motherfucking drill. I will see you fuckers next Wednesday.